Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Parliament Speaker Benny Gantz sign an agreement for a new government in Jerusalem, ending 483 days of political deadlock. The State of Israel has marked today its National Holocaust Memorial Day, during which Israelis commemorate the 6 million Jews who were systematically killed by Nazi Germany during World War II. Israel reportedly strikes Iranian proxy installations in Syria's Palmyra desert during an official visit by the Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif in Damascus. Since the 26th of December 2018, Jerusalem faced 483 days of protracted political chaos, embroiled in deep divisions, shallow rhetoric, and internal bickering. I'm glad to report, however, that the unprecedented journey through a long tunnel of political obscurity, which the Jewish state has forced upon itself, has finally come to an end, with a joint declaration by Premier Benjamin Netanyahu and Parliament Speaker Benny Gantz heralding a long-sought-after national emergency government, making way for rays of light to penetrate the fog as the sun once again shines upon Jerusalem's seat of power. According to the signed agreement, an alternating premiership arrangement will take force, during which Netanyahu will continue to serve as the country's prime minister until November 2021, while Gantz will serve as alternate prime minister and defense minister. Following the first 18 months, Netanyahu will vacate the premier's office and, for the first time in more than 12 years, will enable Israel's former military chief, Benny Gantz, to take over Jerusalem's power reins. Furthermore, the newly established Israeli government, the 35th since the state's inception, will number 32 ministers during the first alternating stage and will later expand to 36 ministerial portfolios. It is important to highlight one of the agreement's clauses that ultimately brought about the long-anticipated breakthrough. In the event that the High Court of Justice in Jerusalem rules before the new government is sworn in that Netanyahu cannot form a coalition due to the indictments against him, the agreement becomes null and void, and the Israeli parliament, or Knesset in Hebrew, will immediately dissolve. Should that happen, Netanyahu would remain the interim prime minister until new elections are held. Meanwhile, Israelis on the streets of Tel Aviv voiced satisfaction over the newly established government in Jerusalem, asserting that filling Jerusalem's leadership vacuum is imperative for the country to be safely steered out of the ongoing crisis, which emerged as a result of the corona contagion.
I think it's the best solution because we are now with more than 1 million unemployers, and the most of the business are in a difficult situation right now, so we need to have a government in this moment.
Of course I'm happy. Any democratic would be happy that there's a new government. Will it be the right thing that I want? I'm not so sure. I'm not exactly the Bibi person. But at this challenging of COVID-19, which Israel is quite safely referring to it, I hope just that the next thing that the economy will start moving.
It is important to mention that the coalition agreement was signed at the Prime Minister's residence in Jerusalem about an hour before the start of Israel's National Holocaust Remembrance Day. As in every year, at 10 o'clock sharp earlier today, sirens sounded throughout the Jewish state, bringing it to a complete standstill in memory of the 6 million Jews that perished as a result of the heinous atrocities committed by the Nazi regime and its collaborators during the global devastation of World War II. As part of a special memorial ceremony at the Israeli legislature, Parliament Speaker Benny Gantz, who is the son of 2 Holocaust survivors from Hungary and Romania, emphasized the obligation of the State of Israel to take care of the country's Holocaust survivors in particular and its elderly citizens in general.
בימים מאתגרים אלה, כשהבדידות נדרשת מהם על מנת להגן על בריאותם, חשבו שידעו, ניצולי השואה בפרט, וכל אזרחי ישראל המבוגרים שבינינו בכלל, שהם לא לבדם.
The numerous Holocaust memorial ceremonies throughout the Jewish state were initially kicked off by the main event at the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial Museum in Jerusalem. In contrast to previous years, however, the ceremony was forced to adhere to the government's enacted measures pertaining to social distancing in light of the corona pandemic. Among the various leaders to address the state's event via video conference, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sought to draw the line vis-a-vis voiced parallels between the Holocaust and the current corona-related challenges.
בתקופה הזאת הקשיים רבים, אבל מכל בחינה שהם לא יכולים להשתוות ואינם משתווים להכחדה השיטתית, השטנית של 6 המיליונים. אנחנו מתמודדים היום עם מגפה מסוכנת אחת, ואילו בגטאות ובמחנות השתוללו מגפות למכביר, כי הדחיסה של רבבות יהודים לתוך שטח מצומצם גבתה אין ספור קורבנות מהטיפוס, מדיזנטריה. היום כמובן המצב הוא שונה לגמרי. היום יש לנו בית לאומי, יש לנו מדינה משלנו, מדינה חזקה, מתקדמת, מוערכת מאוד.
It is important to mention that since a day prior, another 710 Israelis have been confirmed as carriers of the corona disease, raising the total number of afflicted individuals throughout the Jewish state to 13,883. Sadly, this is a 0.7% rise compared to the previous day. In contrast, another 481 Israelis were confirmed as healed from the contagion, raising the total number of cured individuals to 4,353. This is a substantial rise of 56% compared to Israelis that were healed from the contagion a day prior. Furthermore, I'm sad to report that another 8 Israelis succumbed to the disease, raising the total number of Israeli corona-related victims to 181. And while Jerusalem continues to combat the spreading contagion, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu highlighted in his Holocaust Memorial Address that the current corona crisis highlights the importance of national sovereignty and the imperative willingness and strength to defend the Jewish state by its own means.
בה בעת, ישראל תמיד חייבת להיות אחראית לגורלה. בכל מצב, בכל זמן, צריך שיהיה לנו את הכוח והנכונות להגן על עצמנו בכוחות עצמנו. בחודשים שחלפו מאז קיבלנו לכך הוכחה יומיומית. התפרצות הקורונה מחייבת מאבק כלל עולמי בנגיף.
The Israeli leader further asserted that the shadow caused by the corona pandemic cannot diminish the country's preparedness to persist in its battle to safeguard its borders from the radical Islamic aspirations that are led by the Ayatollah regime in Tehran.
במקביל למערכה על הבריאות ועל החיים שלכם, אזרחי ישראל, נמשכת כל הזמן המערכה על הבטחת ביטחון המדינה. לקחי השואה מחייבים אותנו לערנות מתמדת. איומי ההשמדה של האסלאם הקיצוני בהובלת איראן, אלה לא התפוגגו בסופת הקורונה. הם עדיין כאן, ואנחנו נחושים מתמיד לתת להם מענה. צה"ל וזרועות הביטחון מסייעים עכשיו לאזרחים במשבר הקורונה, אבל בל יטעה איש, אנו מקפידים יותר מתמיד על כשירות מבצעית כדי לבלום כל סכנה ליד גבולותינו והרחק מגבולותינו.
Turning now to Israel's northern neighbor, where explosions were heard by TV7's local sources in the eastern countryside of Hom's governorate, apparently caused by the Assad regime's aerial defense array amid an alleged strike by Israeli aircraft. This strike, which was performed from the direction of Lebanon's airspace, targeted numerous installations that are known to house Iranian-backed militias. According to one corroborated report, a number of missiles penetrated Syria's surface-to-air systems, destroying several targets in Syria's Palmyra desert, which is situated east of Hom's governorate. While extensive damage was caused to the Iranian-funded installations, there were no immediate reports of any casualties. It is important to underscore that in response to TV7's request for comment, the IDF spokesperson's unit did not confirm nor deny its involvement. Meanwhile, in Damascus, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad welcomed Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif at his presidential palace, during which the two allies discussed regional developments, bolstering bilateral cooperation, and the situation in Syria's jihadist-plagued Idlib governorate, where the Turkish military asserted its dominance. During their meeting, both Assad and Zarif repeatedly slammed the United States for its refusal to lift sanctions on both Damascus and Tehran, in spite of the fact that the Islamic Republic had repeatedly refused American offers of humanitarian aid, and separately, that Syria currently receives convoys of humanitarian aid largely funded by Washington and other Western powers. Nevertheless, both Assad and Zarif lamented that the coronavirus had become a way for political investment by Western countries, which they claim exploit the crisis for their own national gains.